I'll let you take it from here to get to the
Okay.
second WBP.
Awesome. Let me share my screen. Can we see it? So, hey everyone, my name is Stephanie, and I'm on a team with 3 other girls, all under 18 years old, and we're tackling maternal mortality in developing countries through misoprostol distribution and skilled birth training. Imagine if 4 Boeing 737s crashed and killed 830 people every single day. Everyone would stop and direct all efforts and all money and all time towards solving this problem. But each day, 830 women are dying, but not in plane crashes. They're dying here in understaffed, low-resource, unsanitary hospitals. Every day, 830 women die from complications related to labor and pregnancy. When my team and I started looking into maternal mortality, we found that there are 3 leading causes of death: unsafe abortions, postpartum hemorrhages, and hypertension. And ultimately, we decided to go deeper into postpartum hemorrhages, which is the loss of over 500 milliliters of blood within the first 24 hours after labor. The most effective and executable solution to PPH is a class of drugs called uterotonics, which induce uterine contractions and help manage PPH. In the Western world, oxytocin is the default uterotonic. But because oxytocin requires refrigeration and a professional needs to administer it, this just won't work in a low-resource environment where the majority of these deaths are taking place. Because it doesn't need to be refrigerated or administered through IV, misoprostol is the ideal uterotonic for low-resource environments where oxytocin just won't work. And misoprostol alone has the potential to save the lives of over 100,000 women. So we've been in communication with people who have firsthand experience distributing misoprostol in developing countries at the UNFPA and the Clinton Health Initiative, and they've confirmed that misoprostol is the most viable solution to this problem. So if this is such an effective solution, then why hasn't it already been implemented? Nigeria has the highest maternal mortality rate in the world. And one of the reasons for this is because a lot of the densely populated remote communities where these deaths are happening are really, really far from the pharmacies selling misoprostol. Like a 12-hour round trip on foot when you're pregnant isn't feasible. So on top of the physical barriers, there are also a lot of people-based barriers. Because misoprostol can be used in conjunction with other drugs to perform abortions, there's a lot of stigma around misoprostol. And culture also plays a huge part. Women who give birth naturally are seen as stronger, so they don't want to use any Western drugs, even though they'll make the process of labor much easier. And also, some people just don't know that drugs like misoprostol exist, so they can't take advantage of them. We're focusing our approach in 3 areas: local distribution so people can access misoprostol easily, communal education so people can know about it, and affordable prices. A lot of these developing countries don't have stable pharmaceutical regulations, so drug prices are super high. Before we can distribute misoprostol, we must gather a supply of our own or procure it. We can get it either from a supplier or a manufacturer, and then that procurement goes to community drug keepers, people that store the drug and regulate and monitor its distribution on the ground. And the drug keepers will give the misoprostol to traditional birth attendants. These are people in the communities that have a lot of experience delivering babies. But the TBAs don't have formal training, and they use a lot of cultural and mystical processes in their practices. But they have a lot of trust within the community, and women are willing to be treated by them. But if we implemented this approach today, it wouldn't work, because the TBAs don't know how to use misoprostol. They need to be trained too. And we also need to educate the women about the benefits of misoprostol and help them understand how much they need it. A lot of the distribution initiatives we saw in our research didn't work because they were one-off projects. They relied on grants. So when the distribution of misoprostol would stop as soon as the money ran out. And even though a misoprostol pill costs $5 at a pharmacy, it only costs 66 cents from manufacturers. So we could sell it for $3, which is significantly less than the current market value while still being profitable. So our current solution would be sustainable even when we weren't there anymore. So we could set up a system in which women could pay their misoprostol fees in installments so it's easier for them, which in turn would create profit that would go into the grants for finance. So it's cyclical. Our plan is to launch a pilot project in Jigawa State, Nigeria. We'll be testing different financial models to identify the highest price we can sell misoprostol for while still keeping it affordable and accessible for the people who need it. We'll also be developing a picture-based guide about misoprostol for community members because Jigawa's literacy rate is only 37%. And we'll be implementing a data monitoring system to track our progress because the current system is paper. Right now, we're doing an analysis of potential community-based organizations to be an on-the-ground partner for us, and we hope to finalize this agreement by July. We need to finish the project proposal, and then we'll be getting on a Zoom call with Jigawa's local and national governments for permissions. And we're already in contact with some of the leading maternal health players, like the UNFPA and the Clinton Health Initiative, and we're building relationships with their management team, so there's progress being made right there. We're really excited to be solving this problem because there aren't a lot of players in this area. So we feel that we can make a huge impact just by executing this plan. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Team M, Stephanie, Izzy, Shifra, and Navia with helping save lives during birth. The next presentation that we're going to go to is with Cameron and Ahmed. And they're working on something very different, more scientific, more technical. So I'll let them take it from here. Go ahead, guys.
Okay, so everybody hear me? Good?